Hello guys, it's Paula coming back to work on embellishments for the Fuzzy Duck Little Golden book. Now, I've got everything inked, most of it cut out, but I'm going to tell you how to do all of them. And I've got a bunch, so I'm hoping we can get through it. Okay, so let's start off with this one that's got quite a few pieces. You know what that means. There's quite a few pieces. Now, I did the sewing part on this, but good news, sitting right beside me is my sewing machine. So if we need anything sewed, it's right here. I'm trying to improve on my service. My service, that's funny. This is a card base. I just took a piece of scrap paper that had text on it, a little bit of stamping on it, and I took some of the yellow polka dot paper from, let me check on where the dog is. Sadie? Sadie? I'm telling you, she's sneaky. There she is. Good girl. I'm sorry, guys. Didn't mean to interrupt. But I haven't seen her most of the day, and all of a sudden it was quiet. You know what I mean? You know how that is. So I sewed on this background paper, the base. It's the base. And then I cut out a little, slightly a rectangle of the polka dot yellow that's inside the Fuzzy Duck book. And then I did some white burlap, and we zigzagged it on. So I straight stitched here and zigzagged these three pieces. And the reason I did that was because I actually worked on it yesterday, and I decided today that, you know, I'm going to finish it up, but we're going to do it together. Now, this is for the Little Duck book. Now, one we did before that I had in some of my already made ones was this one. But I didn't like the colors, this blue. I didn't like that for the little duck, or the brown burlap. So we're going to go from here, and then we're going to try to move along as fast as we can. Okay, now I'm going to try not to be slow. It's not a promise, but good thoughts of it. Okay, so I want to put some different pieces of fabric on here, and I'm going to trim them if they're real shaggy looking, get all the strings off of them, and we're going to lay it out first. So I think I'm going to do it like that because I kind of like that little heart. And this is a very old piece of fabric I've got hold of right now, and the reason I'm trimming around it is I don't want that blue on the very edge in here. But this is a print that's on a white and blue polka dot check from back when ever. I mean, I bought some old vintage fabric, and this was one of them that was in there, and it ended up being a scrap. So I'm just trimming off the blue portions, okay, and just making it work. Now, it doesn't have to be a perfect square. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to make it not a perfect square. Then we don't have to deal with it. Okay, so here we go. And it's a flower, and I'm still going to leave the green portion on because it has leaves behind it. And of course it could really use being pressed. But I'm just going to plop it down, and this is another one, you guys, that is from that same batch of fabric I got. Now, I don't want to use it all, but I want to use the portion that has the gold on it and the brown. And I'm trying to think, do I want to overlap these, or what do I want to do with them, you know? I like them better when they're overlapped upon each other. But sometimes you have colors that just blend too much. So I've got a little peach color here, which will go in the book because there is some peach. So I may make it be like a base right here, kind of separate some of these little items. Okay, so there is our, let's see, how do I want to do this heart? Let's just kind of put it in there. This is all going to be glued down. So we're not going to stitch each of these. That would just take forever and be crazy. I'd be crazy afterwards. Okay, now we have this little space right here that doesn't have anything, but we'll come up with something. Now I've got rickrack. I've got creamy color leftover lace. It's kind of a crocheted lace. And I've got a yellow. And so I've got to decide which one of these do I want to put a strip of across the collage. Now the yellow really kind of blends, but I don't want the zigzag on there. It's too bright. So I think what we'll do is maybe use both. Why not? We can put this one like right here, and I'm just going to glue it down so it doesn't have to be any particular way. Okay, let me make sure you guys are even in camera. Thank goodness, because I couldn't tell. My camera was kind of tilting and I wasn't sure. Okay, so we're going to put it right here. And I don't know, I really like this yellow too, so I'm thinking, but I don't want them to look like it's matchy-matchy, you know? How about we just put some right up here? Don't want it to look matchy-matchy. So I'm just going to cut out a little piece and go for it. Not give it a lot of thought, you know, because it just slows the process. Okay, now, also the other thing we're going to add is buttons, but we're also going to add this butterfly. Now, I don't know if I like the way this is all coming together. I really don't. So, we're going to start over. Something is not right in this particular collage to me. So, let's put this one in the middle and start over. And it may be because I've got so much yellow on the background, and so anything I add really doesn't look like it goes, you know. And I think that heart is part of the problem because it's got pink spots in it. But then you get this and it's, what's the difference? So I have a little piece of muslin here. I'm just going to stick right there. And Sadie, no. Sadie likes to get in my roll around, which is a long roll around that sits next to me. And she likes to check things out that are on the bottom shelf, if you know what I mean. So she gets in trouble for that a lot. Sadie, no. What are you doing? I'm sorry, guys. I should have put her up before we got started. I may have to stick her in her little crate. Okay, so see, I like that better. I think sometimes it can be overkill. And I think that second piece of crocheted lace is too much. But I wanted this little butterfly because if you could see it in person, it's pretty. And I bought these at Michael's, and you can see there's a whole box of them. And you can buy two different colors. One's a mix of colors like this, and one is just white with gold trim. So, all right, I don't like that direction. I like that right there, don't you? And let's add a couple buttons. Can't do a collage without a little bit of buttons. So we got to get some string. Hold on just a moment, please. Sadie, come see me. She's wanting to scratch and jump on the door. And you can't do that, baby. While Mama's on the video, okay? Mama's got to work a minute. Oh my word. It was like somebody was pounding on the door. She's been with my husband all day, so she's kind of has enjoyed getting to hang with him. So we have a brown, a white, and a yellow button. And I'm thinking that we could do a mix of a couple of those. I don't want the button super bright. I don't want it to stand out. I want it to kind of blend with the other colors. I really just want it for texture. And I know you guys know what I say when I say texture. It means that it's not really an obvious, when I say texture, I mean it's not obvious. It's not the first thing your eye's drawn to. But we all know what our eyes will be drawn to is that butterfly, right? Because it's glittery, it's 3-dimension, you know. And then they'll settle down and look at the rest at that point. Now, let's see. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe up here. No, we have to get a couple before we can tell where we really want it, you know. I kind of like to cover up that big green blob in the middle of the sunflower. Or not, it's not a sunflower, but a flower in general. I just think it would look better. And I think, just like I was saying a few minutes ago, the buttons probably are too bland. They probably need to be a little brighter on this paper because the paper is kind of a peachy yellow, and they're just kind of blending in. So sometimes that's, you know, not the greatest thing. I think I'm just going to tie a knot on the top on this one. Whenever I have 4 holes in my buttons, I don't always do every single buttonhole. I just do 2 and tie a knot because it's easier for me to do it that way. And much faster. We know we have to think about time all the time when we're doing these videos because it flies by. You know, the old saying, time flies when you're having fun. And I think it's true. Okay, so I'm just going to do it just like that. Now, do we want the third one up here? I don't think so. We're not going to do a third one. We're just going to do those 2. So, I'm going to start gluing, and we want to glue from the bottom down. So, I say, let's do the muslin first. Nope, that's not the bottom down, is it? It's this piece. This piece right here. Can you imagine wearing that? This fabric? It is wild and not beautiful. That's what I mean by wild. It's not a beautiful fabric. You know, times are so different. Things just kind of, you know, are not like they used to be. Definitely. Can you see one of our millennials wanting to wear that? Nope. Not really. So I'm trying to not make this look flat. I'm just kind of putting glue on here, and I don't want it to be over glued. Do you know what I mean when I say that? I want it to have a little bit more texture. My famous word. But I really feel like everything you do on a collage is about the texture. And some things look better than others. Okay. When you glue, depending on the kind of glue you use, you get, you know, some glues will dry thicker, which will give dimension. And sometimes you'll just get lumpy looks, and that's okay. That is definitely, that's like raising it up, you know, so that's okay too. It's like giving it a little bit of height. All right, so we have our 3 pieces glued down. So the next thing we need to do is glue the crocheted lace. And again, we're just going straight across with it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it, the glue straight across, and hope that I have it the right length. I can tell you right now, it's pretty thick. And that has to do with my glue being at that stage where it gets thick. Now, we didn't get the ends down, so I'm going to add a little bit more, not a lot, just to get that part down. And this is when you become all gluey. Okay. I hope you guys had a great Saturday. I don't know if I'd call mine great. The only thing great that really happened today was I got a pedicure and a manicure. You know how that is, right? Want those old cuticles cleaned up? Boy, mine needed it. I got to get a wipey here because the girl insisted on putting something on my fingernails. Okay, so I let her put clear, but already they're looking pretty. Well, it didn't come off. I'm surprised. Usually that acetone in the glue will just take it right off. But it didn't. So I can have them shiny for a couple days. Okay, so we've got all this glued down. Now let's add the buttons. I'm not really thinking about where I'm placing these, so that kind of helps a little bit. All right. I think I'm going to move this one up here. Well, that came right off. That's because my fingers are sticky. I'm going to have to add a little bit more glue underneath that one. Let's just put it straight down. Wow. All right. Glue happy. But I think that's going to hold that button much better. Let me clean off this nozzle. My husband went to get Italian for supper. And I'm sneaking in a video so that I can spend the evening with him, because I have a tendency to get in here and not quit. Okay, so now the butterfly. And I think we decided to put it right here, didn't we? Okay. Now I don't know how this is going to end up because I've not used Fabri-Tac on this, but it's kind of a heavy vellum. And so I'm hoping that that will be okay. It has like a, it's got layers. So like some of them have 3 and some of them have 2. So like on this one, it's got the bottom piece that you glue down and the other pieces that you flip up. And some of them I think have more than 2. But now I have to tell you, I'm liking this. I like that. I like the depth it gives it. And yeah, I think it'll look cute in our little fuzzy duck. The fuzzy duck book. Okay, now I'm going to clean off the nozzle, move this stuff over, and move on to the next thing. But I'm going to hold it up first and let you guys see. Let me make sure we don't have too much light glaring. No, we're good. And that little bit of gold on there really gives it some spice. Okay, so that will be clipped over a page. Now, I want to do, now I don't know how this is going to end up, but we're going to sure try. It's a little bit bigger project than the other things I have planned. So let's do it up front, because I think we haven't done anything like this in a long time. So I think you'll like it better. Okay, there's doilies involved. There's poster board. This was poster board. Okay, it was, let me measure real fast for you. I think it was 12 inches, but let's double check, because I could very well be wrong. It's not unusual. 11 inches. 11 inches by 4 inches. Okay, and then I just looked at it, folded this part up, and had a little flap. Now, this is not going to be what you think it's going to be. You think it's going to end up with a paper pad inside, because I've done that several times. But we have some coffee stain paper. We set that to the side. No, Sadie. Oh, she's going to be the death of me. She decides she wants to cry on me right now. So she hears my husband's what the deal is. All right, so back in one of the first videos I ever did, we did this on card basis. We used 2 cards. We slipped them into each other, folded them out, made a closure, and had it be a journaling item. So we've got 2, and I'm using music sheet as a background because it's such an easy thing to do. Everything looks good with it, you know. It's just naturally looks good. And none of the music sheet, it all came out of my scrap pile, so none of it's in exactly the same music or the size it needs to be. But we're just going to take our tear tool, or take our tear in general. I'm trying to match these prints up as well as I can. They're not the same songs, because they were in my scrap pile. So this is how this is going to go, the inside. This is the inside. Now, we're going to take a little piece of tea stain paper, okay? And I believe it is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Yes. So you can just do your mat to go with whatever will look good to you on this. And you could turn it anyway because it's the same size all around. Okay, here we go. So it's going to be like that. And we're going to glue this as soon as we're through talking about it. Now, this little flap right here at the top is, let me see which one of these I like. That one's smaller. This says, I'm a flat car, whatever that means. And so this is just going to be a little bit of decoration right there inside the flap. Now, we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the very back one, which is going to be in the middle. And then we're not gluing these yet. I just want to show you how they're going to look, and I'm going to fold them over. We're going to do the outside first, because that's something, if I have to, I can do by myself. I'd rather you get to see more projects. So this is how the outside looks. Kind of like a pocket you would have on a shirt. Okay, I'm going to slip this little piece of music inside so it doesn't get in our way. All right, so we have another little piece of music that's been torn with my tear tool. And it is pretty snug on there, but it is going to work. Now, let's get the insides done. I'm going to save this big print for the very back because it's kind of standing alone. And we're going to put this right here. Now, this is the front, so we're not journaling on the front. So I'm going to take, I inked this bigger doily that hangs over just a little bit. And then I took this pink one that has a printed design on it and inked it. And it's just a little bit smaller. It's kind of like putting flower petals in between each other. And then you put something in the middle, except we're not putting anything in the middle right now. And then this will be here. Okay, I know I had, here's some lace. This is very old lace. You can tell by how flat it is. But I wanted to spice it up a little bit on the top. And I'm even going to add some rickrack. Because it's vintage and it looks old. This is the stiffest rickrack I've ever used. I mean, you cannot get a pin through it. So it was a brand new package. This is not vintage, but the lace is. And so I'm not worrying about lining this up perfect. I just want to put it across there. And I know there was something else I was going to put on here. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so let's just glue this one on first, since we're right here. I hope all this stuff isn't getting too busy for you. Okay. Now, get those edges, or corners especially. Now, I'm really not sure if I want to decorate the back of this, because I'm not sure if we're going to slip it in a pocket or if we're going to put it in a, or we're going to glue it up on the back of the book or something, which I think would be pretty on the back cover, the inside of the back cover. So I think what we'll do is skip decorating that part, because I've been giving it some thought today. Where I was going to put what. Okay. This book is, I'm getting much faster when I work on the journals, especially the little golden ones. They get easier and easier for me. But I love showing them because it's the little golden book that drew me to YouTube. I mean, I used to watch scrapbooking and cards and mixed media, but I never looked at journals because I wasn't a major person to journal. And so that's what it's literally what drew me to. So I'll never give up making the little golden books. I know a lot of people start with those, but you can count on me always having them, especially at Christmas and Easter and, holidays. I'm even going to have one for Halloween. I found a really cute one for Halloween. It's not super old. I'm sure it's like probably 80s. I haven't even looked. I can't remember. But it didn't matter because I thought it would make a really cute Halloween book. Now, some people wouldn't want a journal for Halloween, but then there are people that just love to have books and stuff. I know as far as photo albums and stuff like that go, people do. So I'm just looking to make sure, because of course the glue seeped out. All right, so we've got this part on. Let's go ahead and glue on the lace so we can have that done. And it can have some time to dry a little bit, maybe. Try not to overload this, because I'm just letting a little bit at a time come out. And there is a right from wrong on this. The pink is brighter on one side than it is on the other. So I'm just going to put it straight across. I'm not going to trim it off right now. But what's going to be interesting is getting this zigzag on there. Now, I'm going to hold this. I hope you can see. But I want to put it directly on this zigzag because it's so stinking thick and heavy. If I had to guess, I would say it was a wintertime rickrack because it's so heavy. Okay, now it's sticking to me all over the place. I almost let the little girl talk me into polishing my nails, and I was like, I'll let you do clear, because she would, I mean, do you ever go to one that's just super pushy when you get your nails done? That's how I felt with her. But at the same time, she was a little goofy, because she was like a freshman in college, I think, or something, and she works on the weekends. And she understood English much better than a lot of the people at the beauty nail place. Not the beauty salon, but the nail place. This place is very nice that I go to. But a little bit on the crazy side. Anyway, so moving right along, we're going to do, I'm trying to get this big blob of glue off my index finger. It's kind of hard to do anything with that. So we're going to glue this music sheet down and let it be the very background. Now, you're not going to see a lot of it, but you know, if we didn't put it there, it'd be obvious. So I love anything with text or music on the backgrounds of things. I just really like the way it looks. Now, we're not going to put a journaling paper on here. Let me make sure the music is straight. There we go. Now we'll put the larger doily. For the life of me, I can't remember what I was going to put on here. I mean, I was going to decorate it with something. It may have been flowers, but I don't know what I did with them. I am using flowers on this little top portion, but maybe not on the doilies. I just wanted to use doilies because they're so free during Easter, you know. It's kind of like Valentine's Day. It's a doily, kind of. And it just gives more of that springy, happy feeling. I don't use them on everything. Some people use them on everything, but I don't do that. I don't know why. I just don't. I just like the way this looks because it looks almost like a lace or something, you know. So here we go. This is how this portion's going to look. Up here, we're going to put some floral. But I've got to make sure which one I laid out for it. Let me look. I'm going to be right here. I'm just grabbing the bag. I have this bag. I have bags for everything. I store a lot of stuff in Ziplocs and then file them. Look at that flower. Isn't that crocheted flower pretty? I have a tendency to like crocheted flowers. Now, I don't know if any of these are going to look good or not. We're just going to try it and see. These are Prima that I got at Hobby Lobby. The thing is I think we need to stick with pink. Now, I know that's big, but look how pretty that is. Here's this. It's too dark, I think. Got some more. Just going to pour them all out because it's lots easier than wrestling this bag and crunching it in your ear. Okay, now, I've also got this one, but look how big it is. Nope, can't do that. Here's this one looks like it's just the right size, doesn't it? Yeah, let's go with that one. All right, now that's for the front, and I'm not going to go nuts with, I'm thinking out loud in my brain that we need to add some, and I almost bought it at Hobby Lobby. We need to add some little green, a little bit of green to represent leaves. But look, here's some mint green. Oh no, that's blue. That won't work. I don't think I got any green out. No, I didn't. That's all right. But you can, and I do a lot, cut the shape of a leaf out and put it up under my fake flowers. I'm looking in my little stack of paper to see if I have some green in here, which I don't. Oh, this is close enough. That is a mint green. So let's just see what it looks like. And this is how I do it. Let me cut the peach off. Okay. I just take, when I'm doing a leaf, I give it no thought. I just kind of do an oval. And you can come to a straight point. But I don't know why I do this, but I always want it to have a little bit of a little curve here. Now, depending on where I end up putting this, of course I will ink it. I think I like it on that side. That one's a little big for this flower, so we're going to tone it down a little bit. And where we're going to do it is on top of this big hump. But I will still leave the hump there. Let's see. Trying to sound like Frankenstein, or not Frankenstein, but Dracula. Okay, so there we go. And see, it's not over. It's not taken over, if you know what I mean. I'm going to do one more, and then we'll ink those and put them down. Now, I'm not going to start off as big this time. Because you don't want them to, leaves are not identical. I mean, they're just not. So let's do like this. Let's bring one. I want one to go up a little bit more. But I don't want it to mix into that rickrack. Let me try some different things. Let's try it in the middle and see what we think. It keeps sticking into my lace. Now we could do it like this, where both of them are kind of dangling down. After we ink them, they'll be more noticeable. Yeah, I like that, don't you? Okay, so we're going to get some ink on our dauber, not our dauber. That's bingo. Ink on our applicator. Okay. I can't even remember what they call these officially, or what Tim Holtz calls them. I've watched tons of his videos, so you would think that I would know by now, but I don't. Okay, when you glue your flower down, when you're going to punch or cut out leaves, you want to leave some of your petals loose. And in this case, I'm putting a big blob in the middle, and I'm not doing anything with the petals. So I'm going to put it in the middle, which is not like me normally. So you want to like hold it down for a second. Okay, now we're going to take our little leaf. Now I'll show you something else that will give it depth. Take your little tiny leaf and fold it in half long ways. Just like this. And I do this on my leaves whenever I'm like seriously doing them. You know, several. You just kind of want to cup it. It does not have to look like a straight line, okay? We're just going to do it like this and kind of just bend it over. And that will give it a little bit of, and then you kind of take the end and pull it up. Okay? So we're going to put it on the end. We're going to stick under the flower first. And you'll see a difference whenever you do this. You'll see a difference in how it looks compared to, see, because what's going to happen is it's going to glue down on that top portion and stick up See how I kind of curled it up? But if you're sitting here looking at it, you can see where the fold is. I don't know if this ink will help it or not. But anyway, let's do that again. Just take the right side and put it towards you and then bend down as best you can. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you want it perfect, you got to do the whole leaf perfect. Because it's going to end up being what it is. Got to hurry because we want to get another project started. Now, you know how I'm going to do these other pages inside this. Now, I don't know. Okay. Now, you know, when you have something heavier like this, it does take a little longer for things to dry. So, I'm not going to do it now, but when you're making them, I recommend that you hold them down a little bit till they dry wherever you want them. Now, if you don't like the end sticking up, just add more glue. Okay. Now, I'll do the inside later. And I don't know, you never know. We might come back and do something there, but I think it'd be too much. It's already pretty out there for me, you know. So when you fold this over, this will fold down, and then we'll have all this inside, and I'm going to glue that later, okay? Now, as far as how to hinge it, I really haven't given that thought. But probably I will do just a white circle and double up 2 or 3 and then put it right here and let that flip in and out. But I don't want to keep you forever, but it's definitely frilly and cute. Okay, now I'm going to move that to the side so we can start on something else. I just don't know where I'm putting my stuff. Let me see how many minutes we've got. We can do one more thing. Can you believe that? Just one more thing. Now, I might just do another video because I have several things I want you guys to see how I do it. All right, so we're going to do let's do this first. This is the library card. This is a piece of packaging, and I just cut around it. Inked it so you wouldn't see the white edges. This is just a grid with a little baby blue line. It's going to cover the front, just because I want it to look different. And here is your pale yellow with kind of a light maroon that goes in here. And again, we're lining this inside like this. Okay. So, first things first, we got a stamp. This book belongs to, because we need that on there. I'm just using my Vintage Photo Distress ink. Get it real good and moist. Now, it doesn't take much to do that. You guys know what I mean. Now, just because we've hesitated, I'm going to huff on it. Because sometimes, you know, water-based stamps can dry up as fast as they land. I hope I got this straight because I feel like I didn't. But I think it's close enough. What do you think? Okay, now, this is for the person that is getting the book. Now, I'm going to move that stuff out of the way, and we're going to continue. We don't need that right now. So, we're just going to, basically, this is a gluing, because I've cut everything out. You just want to measure from top to bottom on the pocket, and from right to left, or left to right, whichever you want to do. And the one that goes inside is going to be slightly smaller than the one that's right here. If you do lined paper in here, make sure you line it up, because it will just look better. I think we are going to put a very light amount of glue on the one that goes inside. And my glue is getting low. Okay, this is going to be down in the bottom, so it's not like, you know, it's that big of a deal. Hopefully I don't get hung up trying to stick it down in there, because that's when you find yourself in trouble with your ink, when it doesn't want to slide right in there into your pocket. Now we're going to hold it on the outside so we can control it. And I usually just hold my pocket on the outside too. I've got both my hands full. Stick my finger down in there and kind of do like this. And make sure you're lining it up where it would go. Push it straight down. You will get probably a little bit of glue right here, see? Or somewhere, because it's pushing that glue I put down on the bottom up. And then, let me get it even. You're going to see slightly the edge of the back of the pocket. Okay, now this is going to go on the inside of the front. And I think that's what I have that dolly for. It is. I remember now. That portion is done. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add the glue on here rather than the paper. That way I can control it. Make sure you hit the top portion and the corners really well. I will tell you this, when you put these library pockets in your book, you want to make sure you've really held them down. If not, add clips to them. And when I say clips, I mean, you know, the kind we hold the book with. Well, good grief. Usually I have them right in front of me. They can be this size, any size. And you want to clip it in enough places that you... okay, now we're going to line this up with the one above. And I didn't do too awful lining these up. Surprised. Okay, but as little as I put compared to normal, I still got a little bit leaking out here. So, you know, I definitely don't want wet looking substance coming out of my pocket here when you first open the book. Kind of takes the fun out of it, you know. Okay, now let me see. I'm going to tilt it around so if I can see if there's any more glue. And of course there's some up here now. It's, to me, when you take off glue in one spot, you turn around and it's glue on the opposite side. It's because it's pushing it over there in your way. I don't know about you. I'm just kind of, it's kind of like, I get bored with, I know there's only so much you can do in a journal, but you can make it look different. And that is what my goal is. If I come up with something new in a journal, that's even better. You know, because I'm always racking my brain. I go to bed thinking about it. I get up thinking about it. Shower thinking about it. You name it, I think about it. I want you guys to enjoy the videos and learn from the videos. Okay, right here. Alrighty. Now, this is heavy because it's like a chipboard. And I'm going to put glue on it to really hold this down well. It's just, it has no purpose. It's just decorative. If I can get some glue out of here. Now, it is a slick surface. So you definitely want to make sure you have plenty on here, because it's like, you know how you, I don't know if you think about stuff like this, but when I see something slick, to me it says, you know, it's going to slide right off. And I think that way with, oh my goodness, this glue. It just keeps pouring out on my little design. And it aggravates me. I must have missed a piece of that. Okay, so I've got it all over me. I'm just going to straighten it out and get any excess off. I know, I'm crazy. But it just went crazy on here, and I don't like the way that is. This is me loving. I was going to say, this is me loving you so much that I'm going to get all this off. What I really meant to say was, this is me rubbing off the glue because I love the project so much. No, that was a lie. Let me tell you the truth. This is me taking the glue off because I don't want to clean up all the glue that leaks. And you watch, there will be glue leak out of this. And then I might have to hurt it. Alright, it might even take something heavy to hold it down, if you know what I mean. Like set something heavy on it for a few minutes, and then you can give the glue a second to kind of dry a little bit, because this will slide around, because like I said, it has a background that's there. We're going to set that there for a second. Just a second. Just 1 second. And then this is going to slide into the pocket right here. And I'm trying to remember if I had decided. I don't think there was anything else I was going to do other than I need to ink this doily. And when this project is done, I will put this down on the book inside cover, just so we can see it come out around it. It'll look like this. But that's not all. We're not through. Now, we have a little bunny, a little Peeps bunny. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it makes me think of. That I need to add a little bit of glue to. And then, I gotta look and see what else I have for here. I think I'm gonna put like a little bunny something. Even though this is not a bunny book, but I am adding a few bunnies to it. So I wanted this little bunny to kind of look like he's, you know, playing right here. I don't think I added glue to that. It has sticky on it. So if it pops off, you can just glue it back down, but it's not going to, I don't think. These are some pretty good stickers that I have in that on that little sheet that came with the only Easter kit I had. So it didn't have a lot of stuff going for it. Okay, now I'm going to erase. Actually take off the adhesive. The first thing I want to do is get it off the bottom, so I can make sure it stays straight. Yeah, that's better. I want to get it off of the paper itself, or the packaging. Oh my word. It's just like, I think to me it feels more like it's just getting stickier. It just needs to dry a little bit more before I start erasing on it. But the next thing we're going to put on here, on our little bunny, I can hear my husband just sneezing and coughing. Bless his heart. He got 2 shots today and 3 medications. And he missed work yesterday. That's unheard of for him. He just doesn't miss work. I have to beg him. Beg him to miss a day. I'll say, oh, you know. And he never takes sick time. I mean, he can be sick and he will go to work sick. Which I don't get. But this little sticker says hippity hoppity. And I thought for the little bunny, that would be cute. Now I'm going to put it on this side. Whoops, hold still, little sticker. So I can kind of line it up. So here you go. I just got to clean up glue. And then it will be ready to go in our book. And it will have this dolly behind it. And I will ink it. So I don't want to waste time going into all those little details with you because, you know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video here. I'm going to eat my supper. And I'll probably come back and finish these things. I will make more. There'll be more of them that I put into the book. But sometimes I don't think about what I'm going to put in there until the book is bound. Sometimes it looks like it needs more. I'll give it more. All right? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I had fun today. And I appreciate a thumbs up from all of you so it can let YouTube know that I have people watching and enjoying the video. And I also would love, tell your friends about my channel. Let's keep it growing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. All right, guys. See you next time. Bye.